Hey everyone, it's Sybil back, and I'm doing a targeted. I don't want to say targeted. We're gonna do a message this time, and let me try to show also my. I want to show my little, not little. It's very large. My hibiscus flower that I grew. I don't know if you can see that, but she's very gorgeous. She's a little bit damaged from outside, but I always like to give a little offering. Well, not always. I try to when I do a reading, because a lot of it is guidance from my ancestors. Now, I don't really know what this reading is going to be about. Ooh, that's the whole thing I wanted to do. I wanted to show off my charm casting setup. Ooh, that's cute. That's cute, actually. Yeah, I have that there. Let's just get into what this group needs to hear, please. Okay. Okay. So I'm seeing here this malicious intent here, right in the center. Money, a little bit of love on the outskirts. It's seeming like a man, a masculine figure, is blocking those money blessings. And I'm thinking this is more, yeah, this is like a romantic relationship. I'm thinking this is when you're currently in. This is when you're currently in. Whatever they're doing, I'm getting the word downfall. Let me pull up my cards. They're like right behind the computer. Let me get those. Let me pull out some oracle. I'm just getting like someone who's very like someone who's jealous of your success. Like I'm getting like they're trying to prevent you from going to events and this is just like kind of like a general example, but anything your particular situation may be similar, but I'm thinking like you have an important event. Oh, Sex in the City. If you ever watch Sex in the City, and I forget the character's name, but she has the short hair, and her man at the time, like her little boy toy, is lower income, and he doesn't prevent her from going to the event, but something like that, like you had like maybe like an important work event and they didn't want to show up, or they kind of maybe showed up and they embarrassed you or were very off by themselves. Something akin to that, where it's just like kind of maybe even ruining your public image as well. Just little ways to sabotage how you get money. I'm also getting like nail techs. I feel like there might be some nail techs watching this video. Ooh, I really like this setup, y'all. I love how the flower is right there and everything's matching. We're gonna pull 3 cards. That's enough shuffling. I'm getting this card. This sex card came out. We have sex, this weather, natural events, and gratitude. Immediately what I'm picking up on, they may even be like withdrawing sex from you, even. And not because they don't want to, it's like they're doing it to, and this is all coming from spirit, guys. Take everything with a grain of salt. This is not professional advice, okay? Well, this is not legal advice. Needs not being met. They may be turning down your advances. They may even be making you feel like you're gross and like ugly. They may like be acting like repulsed whenever like you try to initiate something. Is what I'm picking up on. Like just finding ways to make you feel grimy when it comes to intimate moments. And this, I'm not taking this in a literal sense when it comes to the weather card. I mean, it could have, you may have experienced a weather disaster that's personally affecting you. I'm getting more like, I'm getting like, when they're mean to you, they're very mean to you, but when they're nice to you, it feels really good. And that's kind of how they're like keeping you hooked, so to speak. And you think it's gonna get better, but then it doesn't. And you'll have like a really nice time, and then like it goes bad again. But then you have like a really nice time and it feels really good, but then it feels bad again. Gratitude. I think you're someone who's, you're someone who's really trying to work on yourself. And you've been through dark days yourself, and you're trying to find, you're someone who tries to find things to be grateful for. I feel like you're someone who, what's the word? Likes to self-improve. Someone who doesn't want to be bound to the negative things that happened to them in the past. That's what I'm getting. So, these cards smell weird right now. Let me do a little bit more charm casting here. What should be spirits align with my highest good and my audience's highest good? What should we be doing? If this masculine person or if this this masculine person's pushing you away from your women friends, don't let it happen. Your friends are very, very important to you right now. It may not seem like that right now, but they should be important. Like you need sometimes we don't want to tell our friends things. I'm sure a lot of women relate to not wanting to tell your friends things, because then they're gonna like, they may have negative things to say. Maybe we don't want to hear it, but they have some things that they want you to hear. And they may not necessarily know it now, but like when you do tell them, it will open their eyes a little bit. Also focusing on your health right now too. I'm seeing lost sleep. Let me see what cards I pull up too. I feel like I'm gonna get a swords card here. Let's see what I get. Or what you guys get. Can you tell me more about the situation with their health? Spirits in line with my highest good. Can you tell me more about my audience's health situations? Yes, I think I like the setup much more. You can actually like see what I'm doing with the cards. I think that looks way better. Okay, I'm gonna do one more shuffle. I'm getting the word backyardigans. Backyardigans. In relation to to children, or maybe when you were a child. Dare I say, yeah, like childhood. You might have some comfort shows. I think going back to those comfort shows, but also like will be helpful to bring some comfort to you. But also, this person may also make fun of you. Like, whoever's trying to block your blessings, like with this money, like who I talked about initially, they may make fun of you for your interests as well. Tell me more about this health thing. I'm gonna do one more. I also feel that some of you are trying to make a different a different what do you call it? A different step in your career. Or a career change. So I'm getting 4 of Wands reverse, 2 of Cups reverse, Hangman reverse. Think that there are things with your health that you're ignoring right now. Things that are kind of gnawing at you that you know that you need to check up on, but because they're not so severe right now, you're not checking up on them. But it is getting to the point where it's disrupting you like fundamentally on like a daily basis. Is what I'm getting. I'm also getting a lot of these health problems are probably most likely due to the relationship, or at least exacerbated by them. And then here with a Hangman reversed, I'm getting you're not making any changes to, like, you're not making a doctor's appointments, you're not making changes to whatever routine you got going on, or trying to make any improvements on your health, but you're just kind of like acting very complacent. Now, let's get some advice. For... I think I was already asking for advice at this point, but let's get some more advice for this group about what to do with the situation. And I'm getting a lot of you already know what you need to do before I even pull these cards. You may even be tempted to click off right now because you already know what you need to do, but whatever that may be. Let's pull some cards. What are some advice cards for this group? And I do think there are some, maybe like a few different camps. I'm going to pick a few cards for the one camp and then a few cards for the other camp. Let's do one more. One more shuffle. Okay. Birth and babies, food. Here we have sex again. I feel like I was picking up on this with the backyardigans. And I could just be thinking because that's a children's show, but You might have children in your life. Like you have your own kid or kids, or maybe you even have like literally just like fur babies here. They have like 2 rabbits right here. Or whatever type of pets you have. It doesn't have to be furry. But I think there is maybe there needs to be a serious talk with yourself about like, okay, like what really is best for those that I love right now? Like what would really benefit my children and those who rely on me? What would benefit them the most? And that there could be the answer to what you need to do. But then also I want to say I do feel like a lot of decisions that we make, they're not necessarily any right or wrong ones, but lessons do come back if you don't complete them. That's what I want to say. And then we have food. The food you could be eating now could be like really not good, like unhealthy. You may be even restricting your food. And maybe even as a result of people making comments about you, how you look. But reorienting that relationship to food will be really important. There's a little bit raunchy, but I'm getting part of the reason that you may be staying with this person is because they were maybe once upon a time fulfilling a need or a desire of yours. But you gotta start fulfilling you gotta start fulfilling your own desires at this point. Or finding even a little thing on the side. I don't know, y'all. Like it needs to come from somewhere else other than or learning your body more too. I hesitate on mentioning a side thing, but like because that also implies cheating. I'm not encouraging cheating, but like knowing you can get your needs met in other ways. Okay? Okay. What are some other advice for this group? What will happen to this group once they implement, once they implement any of the advice that came through in this from Spirit? And sometimes I feel like I'm not the best with my wording, but like I just want to make it clear. I never try to give them, I try as much as possible to not give the impression that my client should or should not be doing certain things. Everything's up to you, babes. So if I say something like, oh, you should do this, again, take it with a grain of salt. Let's get, what would their life be like once they implement these advice that was spoken of before? Okay. And I'm getting this is in the next 4 to 6 months as well. If you're someone who, how do I say this? And I say that, or like it's next 4 to 6 months, because it really, the end results, I don't want to say end, but like the even farther into the future results really depends on how these next couple months go, because I am getting, this may be a lesson that has to, like this lesson may have to be learned once over, depending on how these next 4 to 6 months go. So we have 8 of coins here. I think this is like an Irish tale. So it's gonna be a little hard. Like some things may be harder because of the steps that you're taking. But you're gonna be dodging a bullet. You're gonna be dodging a bullet here. Just very narrowly dodging it. And I think you're slowly going to be waking up. Here, I just had the urge to look at the top of the deck too, but I'm getting, you're going to be on your way to waking yourself up to better things and escaping any negative circumstances that you're in now. Like this is something that's going to be, that as far as I can tell from this reading, it's going to be a little bit of a longer journey than the 4 to 6 months to really get to where you're at or get to where you want to be. And I hope I'm wrong, and I hope things go very smoothly and you don't have to go through trials and tribulations. But there will be improvement. It might be difficult, but there's gonna be improvement there. Okay. Let me just get, did I drop anything on the ground? Can I get a few more cards or a few charms for this group? Ooh, and I said I was gonna do two groups for the one. I think that was for this one. Is that for the advice one? Okay, let's pull it for some advice cards for another group. Because I'm getting called back to doing that. I forgot to do that. Okay, let's pull some advice cards for this other part of the group. If you felt maybe the other ones didn't really resonate, you might be in this group. I'm also being reminded of, ooh, this card wants to show up again. Yeah, this card, I almost pulled this card before, but then I shuffled again. Okay. Okay. Here we have connection. I think this goes a lot in part with connecting with your friends again. Any family who is very like, acts as like a friend, like is more like, sometimes we have different relationships with different people in our families, but like the people who are very much like you feel are your friends, like you could talk to them very freely about different things, connect with them again. Chase, I think the chase and the intuition reverse have a lot to do with each other. What are you running away from? What is making you feel overwhelmed? What are you afraid of or unwilling to face? And then we have intuition here. There's definitely something I feel that's like pushing, like maybe not gnawing, maybe gnawing a little bit, but there's something in the back of your mind that's like, it's quiet, but like, you know it's there. And sometimes you want to discredit it, but just know that that information is actually important that you're getting, and that you shouldn't ignore it. Let's see, what does this card say? Listen to messages that come from your intuition and follow through. I'm also seeing, like, I also really love this artwork too. This girl, this woman, she actually has a flower that looks like this one. Very beautiful figure, but then we have the cheetahs here. Or leopards, whatever they are. I almost feel like that's remnant, like this symbol, like this imagery might even be a representation of how it feels like in your mind. I feel like there is part of you that wants to kind of rage out too. And be a little nasty and mean. Or who wants to really stand up for yourself, but then you hold it back. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself and be a nasty, dreadful woman. Or femme. Okay? Whoever you are. My computer's about to die. I hope that was resonating with some of you, at least. And I will see you in another video. Bye!